Our second presentation this evening is to receive a presentation from the San Mateo County on the, quote, Get Us Moving, unquote, program regarding transportation funding.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. My name is Jim Hartnett. I am the CEO and General Manager of the San Mateo County Transit District. With me tonight is our Director of Governmental Affairs, Casey Fromson. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about our Get Us Moving San Mateo County efforts. As you know, congestion is on everybody's minds. It affects all of us, both in our daily quality of life as well as the economic vitality of our communities, our county, and our region. The civic and elected leadership in San Mateo County in the 1970s banded together to form and put on the ballot the enabling legislation to establish the San Mateo County Transit District. Since the 1970s, the district has provided bus and paratransit service throughout the county and has become a leader overall in congestion relief efforts and trying to keep us moving as we know we have to get us moving again with the current congestion. In the 1980s, the civic leadership again and elected leadership in the county banded together to put on the ballot and form the San Mateo County Transportation Authority. And I'm so pleased and thankful that, Mayor, that you have joined the Transportation Authority and provided your insight and leadership to that, which is so important to all of us in San Mateo County. The Transit District became the managing agent for the Transportation Authority in the 1980s, in addition to providing the continued bus and paratransit service and shuttle and associated services. But there's a lot more to do. As you know, Southern Pacific, that provided the rail service throughout the region and from San Francisco to San Jose and on to Gilroy, decided to get out of the passenger business. And it is through the leadership of the elected and civic leaders in San Mateo County that a joint powers agency was formed to save the commuter rail service. And it was in fact San Mateo County through the Transit District that provided the investment to purchase the right-of-way so that there would be continued rail service. Without San Mateo County's leadership, there would be no Caltrain today. And as you know, there's a lot of people who ride Caltrain today. And in fact, by about 9 o'clock tonight, over 1 million miles will not have been driven in our region just today because of those folks who ride on Caltrain. It is an important element of our congestion relief. And if it wasn't for San Mateo County's leadership and the San Mateo County Transit District's investment in the purchase of the right-of-way, there would be no Caltrain today. There also wouldn't be a BART in San Mateo County either. BART, as you know, is a district that is formed by multiple counties around the Bay Area. San Mateo County is not a member of that district. However, BART is in San Mateo County due to an investment arrangement whereby the Transit District invested money in the capital costs and initial operating cost of bringing BART into San Mateo County. With the investment in Caltrain and the investment in BART, we probably have invested both from reserves and borrowings over $500 million over a period of time for congestion relief and promoting transit in San Mateo County and the region. But with that investment comes strains on our financial services. The Transit District was not set up initially in the 1970s to provide rail service or to bring BART into San Mateo County, but there was nobody else to do it. And so it was done because the collective leadership in the county felt it was very important to do. Well, there is more now we need to do to keep us and get us moving in San Mateo County, and that's why we're here today, to talk to you about our efforts to engage the elected leadership, the civic leadership, and the communities in charting a future for our transit district and the services that we provide and the investments that are needed to be made in San Mateo County. As many of you know, our bus and paratransit riders for the district are primarily dependent upon the bus and our paratransit vehicles for their mobility. Most of the riders earn less than $50,000 a year and don't have alternatives. The paratransit riders don't have, because of their disabilities and often because of their income, the ability to get to their medical appointments, get to those things that they need to do in their daily lives, and depend upon our paratransit service. All this comes at a significant cost, and to continue to provide the services and sustain what we do to get people where they need to go, when they need to get there, and to try to provide further congestion relief, we know we need to do more. And so we're here to talk about our efforts to do that, and Casey will give a brief presentation on that.
Thank you, Jim. That was a good segue to their efforts today, and we'll give you a little background on that and what our next steps are. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. I think Jim spoke to why we need this. Obviously, transportation is one of the major issues in our region, and there are lots of challenges, but we also have some solutions, and we're going to talk about that. The Get Us Moving effort is led by the San Mateo County Transit District and the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors. And then we also have lots of engagement from different stakeholders that will talk about how they've been part of this process. But this really lets anyone in the county make their voices heard on what they think we should have as a part of an expenditure plan, or just what we should have as part of our program moving forward. A little background for those that don't have all of the ins and outs of the different transportation agencies. You got a good history from Jim on this, but the San Mateo County Transit District, just to repeat that again, manages Samtrans, the paratransit services, Caltrain, and the Measure A funds that administer local transportation funding. There's also CCAG, which approves countywide plans, and Commute.org that collaborates with transit agencies, employers, and cities to provide alternatives to driving alone. There is lots of people projected to grow to San Mateo County, and you can see some of the statistics here. An important one is the population age over 65 is expected to grow 137% by 2040. What that translates into is a lot of individuals needing paratransit help, and the ridership there you can see is expected to grow to over 1 million expected rides in 2040. So we need to be planning not only for the challenges we have today, but looking ahead at the future to see where our needs going to be in the future and how can we be best prepared for that. Again, on some of the challenges, which I don't think I need to tell anyone that traffic congestion is terrible today. In fact, there was a report that just came out that said that the annual delay per peak hour for a commuter is 67 hours. That's a lot of time to be stuck in traffic. It's a lot of time also to be standing on Caltrain right now if you're riding in the peak hour. It's a lot of time to be worried about how you can get to where you need to go if you're a bicyclist or a pedestrian, looking around at what's aging in our infrastructure and really seeing what more we need to do to enhance that first and last mile to make sure we have a seamless transportation network in the county so people can get to and from where they need to go. We do have some ideas on how to address some of these major concerns and challenges. You see some of them up here, everything from senior and youth mobility plans, local streets and road investment, express buses in different parts of the county, and we have many different options up there. And also, as everyone knows, solutions require investment. So on this slide we have a few examples of what those investments include. Caltrain and Samtrans operation and maintenance, some of the major programs that are out there. These are not insignificant dollars, and it really does take a large investment from different sources in order to make these projects a reality. Some folks may realize that we have a measure on the books right now. It's called Measure A, and you can see on that left-hand column that the money has been spent well and on a lot of good projects. Grade separations, which allow the train and the rail to be separated, which makes it safer and also allows for better local traffic flow. But you can also see we have 13, there's 29 remaining in the county. There's also major projects that we can be doing on our freeways, paratransit needs that we spoke about, and the local needs that we know from different cities and regions in San Mateo will really add up if we don't continue to think about how we invest in these projects. Senate Bill 1 and Regional Measure 3 are both other potential sources of funding, and we certainly are going to rely on many different funding sources to get to where we need to go. But SB1, which is a state bill, is threatened for repeal right now. And Regional Measure 3, you can see that there is some money that will be in there for these major projects. But at the total cost of the project, it's not going to be enough alone. And we really will have to, again, look at our local investments to control our destiny and what we want to have in our community and in our county. And so this speaks to what we're doing right now and the education around a potential solution we have. Assemblymember Mullen put on the ballot, or sorry, he didn't put on the ballot, he helped pass into law AB 1613, which would allow a half-cent sales tax and provide significant funds over a period of time that you can see there. We'll need to go through the proper channels to get that to the point where we put it on the ballot, but it could be placed on the ballot in November of 2018. So what we're doing right now is we're developing an expenditure plan, and we are going to need the help from the communities and this body and organizations to weigh in to let us know what your priorities are. So if we do get to that point in November 18, we've heard from the communities and we have something that resonates with them. There's several different ways you can participate. One of them is filling out this survey. There's plenty in the back room, and the council also has one there. If you haven't already, feel free to mail it in. And we've gotten great response already. 11,000 people have mailed in their survey to let us know what their results are. We also have it online for our website in case you prefer that method. You can come to our public meetings. We're coming to public meetings as well to hear directly from you. Social media, digital, TV spots, we're out there, and we're hoping that you are hearing that we're interested in your feedback, and we really do want to hear from you. In addition to the broader public outreach, we have gathered key technical stakeholders. We know that there are plenty of experts out there. You know your own communities best, and we've convened them together. The technical advisory group made up of public works directors, and your own Jimmy Tan participates in that. And stakeholder advisory groups, we're bringing in different partners from the private side, but also the community groups. We have a process where we've identified goals of what we hope for with this program, but we need to work with the different stakeholders to develop that expenditure plan. And then final steps would be having the SamTrans board put the measure on the ballot with concurrence of the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors. This is highlighting what the goals are. I'm sorry they're cut off here, but relieve traffic congestion countywide, invest in financially sustainable public transportation systems that increase ridership, provide quality transit options for everyone, embraces innovation to create more transportation choices, aligns with the SamTrans business plan, prioritizes environmental sustainable solutions, promotes economic vitality, maximizes opportunity to leverage those investments and the other sources that we have out there, enhance safety and public health, and lastly, invest in repair and maintain the existing and future infrastructure that we have out there. The big question is, what is in that final expenditure plan? We don't have that finalized yet. That's why we're going through this process to get feedback, make sure we've heard from as many different voices as we can, so that we're developing a plan that makes sense for our county for now and looking at our future needs. Some key inputs, a call for projects. We asked all of the cities in the county to provide some input on what they think the needs are, so we can get kind of a scale of what that size of need is out there. 122 projects totaling $12 billion in need. That's far exceeding what we potentially have with this measure, but it speaks to that there really is a need out there. We're also getting feedback from that technical and stakeholder group. Public survey data, that's going to be helpful. These mailers let us know what some of the priorities are. We will be doing polling, and then the governing board input, exactly like coming here today to get feedback for the board, is critical for this process. We expect that the expenditure plan will be rolled out in the next several months, and so we'll have a draft expenditure plan where we'll likely come back around to all of the same cities and county entities, making sure that we socialize the document and make sure that we got it right. Is there anything we missed on it? We'll also have some online tools to help the public understand, well, if I want to really fund bike and pedestrian categories, what would that mean? How much money would be left over? And help really understand the complexities and the challenges sometimes of dividing up money to make sure you're meeting the right resources. Again, we would try to finalize that plan by June 2018 for it to be potentially on the November ballot. And the last one is just how you can help. Please let your networks, your neighbors know about this. We found that we get spikes in the online participation when board members tweet about it, when community members talk about it on Nextdoor. We see active social echoing is what it's called, when the engaged citizens reach out and let them know this is something that's important and you should get your voice involved in the process. So that's really why we're here today, is just to tell people that this process is out here. We want your engagement, and we will go wherever you think there's other groups that would like to hear this information as well. We have a couple town halls coming up. We've already had 2. These are open to anyone. If it's convenient for you to make it to Menlo Park or South San Francisco, the dates are right there. February 15th, which is Thursday, and South San Francisco will be on February 22nd. Last one is just please spread the word. Here's a couple places where you can get more information about the process and fill out the surveys, and places to keep coming back to as we move forward with this process. We'll update them with the expenditure plan and where we are. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions from council? Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate your presentation.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you next month.